Hey everybody, Vera Peer here. Today we're going to go ahead and talk through what I do for work. So I am a Microsoft Cloud Solution Architect. I specifically focus on the Copilot product stack. I work with a wide variety of large enterprise customers and specifically the enterprise edition of Copilot for Microsoft 365. Now, as of this first sort of initial intro video to Copilot, I just want to talk to how you can use it, how you can leverage it, how you can function with it, and the types of things that it does really well for you as sort of this next generation of technology. Eventually, I believe everybody will use in some way, shape, or form. All right. AI is growing rapidly as we continue forward, and only more is to come as Microsoft and additional competitors across the AI landscape, like OpenAI and ChatGPT, or Anthropic with the Claude models, Google with Gemini, all compete with one another to have the best AI product that is available. Now, of course, I skew a little bit. I'm a little biased. I directly work with Copilot. I've worked with this specific product for a little bit over a year now. I started around the summer of 2023, and since the Copilot product stack for the enterprise went GA back in November of 2023, this has been the main workload that I perform. So let's go ahead and let's get into a few prompt use case scenarios, very basic, that we can talk to here for your everyday work life, right? Or your own personal life and how you might want to leverage Copilot overall. First and foremost, the way you want to approach using Copilot is by talking to it like it's a person. Yes, you can be very structured in the way that you prompt. For those that may not know what prompting it is it's the set of instructions that you would directly provide Copilot to perform a specific task, right? Really, you could just think of this as like a chat message that you send to another person. So I like to talk to Copilot with that sense in mind, and of course, structure my prompts in a wide variety of ways dependent on the scenario that I'm working through. Now, the UI has changed a little bit, of course, with the public-facing edition of Copilot, as you see here. Let's go ahead and let's do some prompts, right? Well, you see here I had a little prompt earlier. Let's go ahead and start a new chat. So I always recommend if you're going to start any new type of conversation, you want to leverage this start a new chat option. Copilot does contextually understand the entire conversation that you have. So it is very important that if you are switching gears, switching to a new topic, or you want to reform your thoughts or ideas, or maybe you just get something wrong and it goes off the rails, start a new chat. It makes it really easy to navigate back through your overall conversation. So let's go ahead and just ask it a few questions. I like to start with asking questions. I can say something along the lines of, what is the latest happening with Copilot for Microsoft 365 within the last week? Now, I could just stop here, and I could send this off. There's really no right and wrong in prompting, but if you want more, you want very specific information, you need to include that particular detail within your prompt. And so I can say something along the lines of source your output from Microsoft credible sources only, for example. I could also say format your output into a table with the following headers. And maybe, for example, when it comes to this tabled list of information, I want to include, say, update, update slash feature, hyperlink to resource, and release date. And let's just see what that does, first and foremost. Now, Copilot has gotten extremely fast over the last year or so. And now we see here we have some additional capabilities that are at our disposal. Now, interestingly enough, if we look at some of these hyperlinked resources, let's just check this out. Thurrott.com, Virtualization Review, Geeky Gadgets. These are Microsoft credible sources. Microsoft Community, this is one of our blogs. Support article, this is one of the support articles as well. Now, because I've noticed that Copilot has gotten something incorrect, this is really important for all of you to understand. you have to fact check and validate the output that it gives you. And so when I'm looking through these articles, I see that. I see, okay, well, the resource is not accurate. That's not something that we want to include. All right, so we need to give it some input and tell it why we don't want those included. Have it validate itself. So I'll say something along the lines of um, check the hyperlink resources you provided. Some of these resources are not Microsoft credible sources. Only source your output from Microsoft sponsored sites. Let's see if that makes any difference here. There we go. So now we see it's been updated specifically with these Microsoft credible sources. These are coming again from the tech community blog, from the directmicrosoft.com blog, our support-based site, so on and so forth. And I can validate a lot of these as well. I see this is from Copilot Actions. This was announced at Ignite as an example. Well, okay, right. I have this initial list of features, but I don't really understand what they do. Like highlight, sort, and filter data in Excel, or Copilot app branding, or data governance, or what are Copilot actions, or Copilot analytics metrics? So I can say something like, we'll modify the table, add a new column to the table, provide a description of the specific update sourced from the hyperlinked resource. And let's see what it gives us here. Okay, okay. So again, we now validate further. And this is really important to understand because you are the reviewer. You are the person that understands right from wrong, good from bad, uh, information that may not be real or hallucinated from an AI. You have to validate and fact check. Now, again, I can go directly to these resources. I can pull them up. I can change formats of this data too. I can have it do things like, maybe I want to understand this a little bit better. I'll say reformat output into a bulleted list. Provide additional information to assist with understanding these updates. And we'll just go ahead and say, add a new section that provides a story that describes the update for a business professional audience. I'll also say, provide a metaphor to assist with understanding as well. And then finally, provide an analogy to assist with understanding. And the last one, we're going to have this take on a particular persona. So take on the persona of a Microsoft engineer that is describing these updates to a business professional audience. Utilize language that is engaging and impactful to assist with readership. A little bit longer of a prompt, and this leverages a prompting technique. I do like to leverage a lot chain of thought prompting, where you provide a set of actions that you want this specific AI assistant to help you with, right? Those set of actions in this case are the numbered list that I provided. And when you think about it, this is the way we describe things in human nature when we are delegating task work or when we are discussing these forms of topics or providing, trying to get information from others. And so this allows us to then reshape the overall output narrative that Copilot provides. And now we can see some additional information here. It's been reformatted from that table to a bulleted list with the same information, but now with a business professional story, a metaphor, an analogy included to make the information more impactful. Now, when I think of this, I think of business process automation, I think about time savings, I think about mental health benefits as well. Because consider the fact that when you do this form of research today, you're having to go and do keyword search in your search engines, and you're navigating into different web pages, and you're going back and forth and back and forth. And it's very time consuming to do this form of research. Where now you've even seen within this video, all I'm doing is staying within this one particular window unless I go to one of the hyperlinked resources and validate the information is accurate. But vast majority of the time, I'm staying directly in one specific screen, that front end UI that then allows me to delegate task work to an AI assistant to go and do those searches for me, aggregate that information, and pull it back into unique forms that are not available in those web references. So something very useful for anyone to take advantage of. Now, I think this is where I'm going to stop here for today. There's more use cases and examples that we'll post in the future, but please let me know in the comments below if this has been useful for sort of like the beginning journey of how you might want to leverage Copilot. Always happy to assist and go into any additional use cases that might help you out in the future. So thank you all so much. Have a good one.